Greetings, one and all, to the most cursed, most cringiest corner of the internet. A YouTube channel content creator actively alienating everyone in both the analog and digital world. Well, welcome and good evening, you wonderful dice of all alignments. I am Lunar D8. The chapel doors were open. During a wedding, only those with invitations are allowed inside. However, during a funeral, the doors are open to all who remember the deceased. So, this must be a funeral. A shadow holding an umbrella approached the chapel. It was Will. A new visitor approaches. Something's different this time. A reception desk had been set up at the chapel's entrance. Willard H. Wright, a member of the SSVD, the 8th District, Repentance Enforcement Agency of the Great Court of Heaven, an inquisitor of heresy, and a first-class archbishop. He is commonly known as Wright of the 20 Wedges, or Wizard Hunting Wright. He was an ace inquisitor of heresy in his youth, feared for being both ruthless and merciless in his work. However, at some point there was a change in his work attitude, and his previous flashy escapades became a thing of the past. His current style is often fickle, alternating between laziness and obsessive bursts. I feel like that should be excessive bursts of energy regarding mere trifles. By now, everyone has given up trying to understand him. He has already filed his resignation and had it accepted. Only a few days remain before he'll lose the name of Wright. As the shadow approached, Cannon, who had been sitting at this desk, stood up and welcomed him with a bow. This is the reception desk. We are collecting the names of all mourners. If you would sign in here, sorry, but I'm not a mourner. I'm here to meet with someone. You came to a funeral to meet someone. A dubious expression rose to Cannon's face. Will pulled an envelope from his pocket and showed him the sender's name. My apologies. Please enter. Thanks. Could I at least have one of those? Thank you very much. I am sure she will be pleased. Cannon handed him one of a set of golden roses, which were being handed out to all the mourners. Will took it, silently bowed his head, and entered the chapel. Inside the chapel, several people who appeared to be the family of the deceased were gathered, and they all seemed to be recalling memories of the departed. Oh, Beatrice, why, ooh. Father, please take care. Why don't you rest in the waiting room for a bit? I killed her, I did it. Absurd. How could that be, Rosa-sama? Father's really bawling. Again, she looks like Ivy from Soul Calibur 2, the PS2 game. Yeah, Beatrice, huh? I'm sure he didn't cry this much when Mother passed away. Hey, Now's not the time to say things like that. Some sobbed, unable to conceal their tears, and some spoke softly of old memories. They were all remembering the dead in their own way, it seemed. When Will approached the altar, several people turned around. Of course, none of them knew who Will was. Paying this no mind, Will walked in front of the casket on the altar, which seemed to be buried under golden roses. Inside the casket, there was no corpse. Instead, as though it lay there in place of a body, was a single thick book with an extravagant binding. The space all around it was filled with countless golden roses. There were words printed on the book's cover. To my beloved Beatrice, October 5th, 1986. Miss Beatrice. If it was Mrs., then forgive me. I've never met you, however, allow me to express my condolences. He took the rose he had received from the reception area and placed it in the casket. He had absolutely no connection to the woman called Beatrice. However, since he had come to visit a funeral, he had to show this minimum amount of respect for the dead. As part of this, Will prayed for the passage of the dead into the next world. Pardon me, but who might you be? I am Ushiromiya Kraus. I am serving as the chief mourner. This is my child, Lion. Pleased to meet you. What? Huh? What? What? I'm Ushiromiya. Pleased to meet you. I'm Ushiromiya Lion. Lion? Who the heck are you? It's written as, but pronounced Leon. I didn't know we were getting the Mandela effect in our visual novel. The first child of Kraus and Natsui. Jessica is their second child, so it's an alternate reality where they were able to have a child earlier. Was given the silver ring of the successor to the headship, and will succeed the position of family head upon turning 20. Mild, polite, and without any clear faults, except for being too young. Lion, or Leon, is a more suitable successor than anyone else, and is adored by Kenzo. Okay? I guess it is a bit strange for a Japanese name. Will stared at Leon's face wearing a confused expression. He hadn't seemed particularly interested in Kraus, but Lion had apparently drawn some sort of reaction from him. You know what he reminds me of? Sakutaro. It's like an older Sakutaro. Also me. I mean, not in appearance, I'm ugly as fuck. I mean, Cthulhu reads Lovecraftian horror about me. It's a little depressing, but still. But in terms of personality and speech, this guy reminds me of me. Rather than interest, it was more as though he felt like something was out of place. Kraus-sama, madam says, Madame says it's about time. Ah, I see. Ladies and gentlemen. Oh, how's that go in? Ladies and gentlemen, hobos and tramps, cross-eyed mosquitoes and four-legged ants. Pull up a chair, sit on the floor. Admission is free. Just pay at the door. One bright day in the middle of the night, two dead boys got up to fight. Back to back they faced each other, pulled out their swords, and shot each other. You don't believe my story's true? Just ask the blind man. He saw it too. I've been told that the waiting room has been readied. Shall we move over there? Is there food there? Is there Pepsi? When Kraus called out to everyone, they began to move towards the chapel waiting room. My apologies. Leon, could you entertain our guest for now? I will guide the others to the waiting room. Yes, Father. It looked like a natural conversation with no awkwardness for either. Again, do you guys see either or either? Father or child? Father and child, is it? Yes. But why do you ask? Ushiromia Kraus's child is supposed to be Jessica. Jessica's my little sister. Do you need me to call for her? No, that won't be necessary. Apparently some sort of game was already being played right off the bat. Scratching at his head with an irritated look on his face, Will glanced around. Pardon me, but what sort of relation did you have with the deceased?